Focus on Democrats Amy Dalrymple, Mark Lovick, and Cameron Sharp. We now take you to the studio and today's interviewer, Billy Liggett.
Good afternoon, and welcome to day one, or day three, I guess, of our local candidate interviews, brought to you live by Sandhills Broadcasting, that's WFJA, and WWGP, also brought to you by The Rant, and video provided by Brick Capital Video. We are here in the studios in beautiful Sanford, North Carolina at WFJA. I'm Billy Liggett, and I am your host for today's interviews, and that will be three of the candidates, the Democratic candidates for Lee County Board of Commissioners. But before we start our first interview, I would like to remind you that you can listen in to our interviews today at WFJA 105.5 FM, at WWGP 1050 AM and 95.1 FM. These interviews are also on video streaming live at the WFJA Facebook page, as well as the Facebook page for a little organization I like to call The Rant. I'd like to learn more about this organization. So anyway, already having fun. Today we will talk again to the three candidates for Lee County Board of Commissioners, the three Democratic candidates. Our three candidates today are Amy Dalrymple, Mark Lovick, and Cameron Sharp. And we will start today's session with Amy Dalrymple. Amy, welcome to WFJA Studios, and welcome to our candidate interviews. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Billy. Thank you for having me.
It's good to see you again. It's been a while.
I know. COVID-19 keeps us apart.
Yeah.
Good to be in person for a change.
Well, so before we get to the heavy stuff, let's find out a little bit more about you.
Okay.
Tell us about yourself, your background. I know you've been with the Board of Commissioners for a little while now.
Right.
Tell us why you chose to run for office to begin with, and just whatever you'd like to share about Amy Dalrymple.
Okay. Well, I'm a lifelong resident of Lee County. Grew up in and around Broadway, and married my husband Tommy almost 33 years ago, and we have a family farm just outside of Broadway. We have 4 children. And I guess they are what got me involved in the County Commissioners Board way back in the day in 2008. I was interested in the school system and improvements there, and I started going to some of the school board and county commissioner meetings and fell in love with lots of different issues, getting involved in them and enjoying learning about it, and ran in 2008. This is my 5th race. I've been on the board for a total of 10 years. I've been chair for the last 6. I am a little bit crazy. I love the job. I'm not a great politician, folks, but I love being your public servant. And we've done so many great things in Lee County, especially the last 4 or 5 years. The county's really taken off. Lots of things, lots of progress in the county. And I'm running again just to hope to be a part of seeing that continue.
Awesome. So not only are you a member of the Board of Commissioners, but you've served most recently as chair of the Board of Commissioners. How's that experience been for you? How's it been different than your previous terms? And, just talk about being at the leadership role of the Board of Commissioners.
Right. Well, I thought I was working hard being on the board to begin with. When I became chair, I learned that there was a lot more heavy lifting to do. When you're chair of a county board, you kind of go up to a different level. You're meeting with your contemporaries. We have a lot of regional partnerships in Lee County with the community college is a great example. So oftentimes, of course, COVID has changed things quite a bit here lately. But in normal times, we would be meeting with the president of the community college, Dr. Chapman, and then the county managers and county chairs of Lee, Harnett, and Chatham County, just to coordinate things between our counties. We also do regional partnerships through Triangle J Council of Governments, where I represent our county there. So, as chair, you wind up being the face of the county and going across the state and the region to participate in different meetings, just to keep us involved and partnering with important other agencies and counties to, again, move the county forward and to get benefits from that partnership.
So I understand just from experiencing all of this, I think after an election, you have another vote of who would be board chair. Again, is that something you want to continue to do if you're elected?
I always serve at the pleasure of the board.
Okay.
You know, if they feel like they would entrust me with it again, that's fine. But, you know, we've got good board members that I think, you know, I think the person, it's not the person for the job so much as the job makes the person. You know, if you're willing to do the work, you know, we've got great board members. They make great chairs.
Yeah. So, obviously, back when you filed for this election, you had no idea, you know, what 7 months, these past 7 months were going to look like. You had no idea that we'd be sitting here wearing masks. If you're watching this, we're wearing masks in a studio talking, you know, because of a global pandemic. How has the role of county commissioner changed during the pandemic? What can a county commissioner do to help a community during this time? And what do you see as the most important steps moving forward when it comes to this pandemic?
Well, you're absolutely right. You know, who in the world could have ever imagined? And, you know, another thing that you do as county chair is we have emergency drills with emergency management for various things, and the chair plays a part in that. And when this hit, COVID-19 hit, I remember talking to our county manager and our emergency management director, and, you know, the saying was, there is no playbook for this.
Yeah.
You know, on a local level, we plan and have powered through tornadoes and hurricanes and flooding and, you know, lots of different things, but we really did not have the playbook for a pandemic and what that meant. So some of the things that we've done in the county that I've been really proud of as far as our response is concerned, you know, one of the things that our administrative team with our manager and our department heads, you know, they were determined that we were going to continue the services in the county, even though we had to send people home for safety reasons. We were going to make sure that they could work from home. So we were able to purchase some used laptops and some, you know, phones, portable phones that they could take home that tied back into the offices. So, you know, I got a lot of feedback from the public when I would talk to people about whether they, you know, if they mentioned that they had called the tax office or the health department or whatever, you know, and finding out, well, how was that experience? They had no idea that they were talking to the people when they were in their homes.
Yeah.
So, you know, that seamless transition into working from home, but still providing the services. I was so proud of our staff. I say we've got the best staff in the state and probably in the country. I mean, they work so hard, and they put in some long hours, especially our health department and social services folks. Lots and lots of long hours. You know, we also had to transition. You know, we had people that got their lunches at the enrichment center,
right.
Some of our senior citizens, and they went to delivering meals and then kind of had a curbside pickup. At our library, you know, people love our libraries and depend on them. So again, curbside pickup. And I know you've got some younger children, but a lot of our families with young children found the library YouTube channel and their Facebook. And, you know, they did some great presentations and actually some amateur theater with story time, and I loved watching those. So, you know, just sometimes we were flying by the seat of our pants, but for the most part, you know, I think, you know, we did a great job as far as providing services. Another thing, you know, we got CARES Act money into the county from the from state and federal decisions, or what we decided to do was small businesses really took a hit. So we did a small business grant program, and we're also in the process, and we'll be approving the nonprofit grant awards shortly, just to help them out. So we're learning as we go.
All right. Well, we're about these go quick.
We're
already midway through.
We do. Yeah.
Let's get into some of the hot topics. Let's talk tax incentives, as if you haven't already been asked this 1,000 times.
Okay.
They've, if you support them, you can certainly point to how they have helped Lee County.
Right.
If you're against them, you have valid arguments. Can you, I assume you're somebody that has supported the use of tax incentives to bring in industries.
Correct.
Real quick, because we do have a few more questions.
Sure.
Why have they worked for Lee County?
I think, I'm in favor of performance-based incentives. And what that means is when a company comes in and says, we want incentives in this package for us to come to your county, the only way I'll agree to it is, if they agree they're going to put, let's say $100 million of investment, whether building buildings and purchasing equipment, but capital investment, and then they're going to hire 200 people. And those 200 people, they say, okay, we're going to pay an average wage of $60,000 per person. So we create a contract. And if they don't live up to that contract, and it's not all three, if they break any part of that contract, if they don't hire 200 people, or 100 people, if they don't pay the average wage of $60,000, then they don't get the incentive.
Okay.
So, it holds them accountable to do things. I look at performance-based incentives for the county as a very short-term investment for a very long-term reward for the county. It adds a tremendous amount to our tax base. We'd have to build thousands and thousands of homes to equate to some of these, $100, $200, $500 million investments.
Right. In terms of infrastructure, then, we're bringing in all these jobs. Do we have the schools and the roads and the housing to support all this?
I think we have the roads covered. We're really blessed, the way we are positioned in the state. Housing is coming. I know I spoke with one of the Sanford City Councilmen last night after their meeting, and they've approved something like 3,000 homes coming in.
Yeah.
So the housing is coming, and of course, schools are sort of the third leg to that stool. And we work closely with the schools. We just opened W.B. Wicker Elementary School last year.
Right.
Really proud of that project. And that gives us a little bit of breathing space. But as these homes come on board, we're already talking about schools. But the good thing about it, though, Billy, is when we get these large businesses and industries coming in and making those millions and millions of dollar investment in the county, that increases our tax base so we can pay for these schools and we don't get in debt.
Awesome. Another hot topic, this, the sports complex.
Sure.
I know it's up to the voters.
Yes,
and
yes, absolutely.
Commissioners will act accordingly, whatever the voters say. But
yes.
Do you support the bond referendum? And what do you I'm assuming the answer is yes already, but do you support the referendum? And if you do, why does Lee County need something like a sports complex?
I do support it. And to just be clear, the bond language that voters will see on the ballot, it states the tax equivalent value, what the cost would be, from the tax equivalency. But again, that's why I'm such an advocate of incentives and bringing business in, is because when we get these big industries come in, they shore up our tax base to the point where we can afford to do something like a sports complex without raising taxes. There's a lot of talk out there that if you vote for the bond, we're raising taxes. The only reason why I voted to put it on the ballot was because in talking with our manager and our finance director, with the investment we've got coming in, we can do it, without raising taxes.
Sure.
Barring some really catastrophic thing. I love the sports complex because it's the second part of our Parks and Recreation plan. Our first part is we voted Monday night to move forward with Phase 1, and that's refurbishing and renovating 4 of our existing parks, Horton, Temple, Kiwanis Children's Park and O.T. Sloan, and we're moving forward with those right now, and I hope they'll be ready in the spring, maybe summer, depending on how the winter goes. But there's sort of, an hour or two of fun for a family or somebody to go out to those parks. The sports complex is a totally different concept. It's multiple fields. It's baseball, softball, football, soccer, for team play. We've been talking to the community college where maybe they could expand the sports offerings they have, and that would be their home fields for their sports teams at the community college, which would be great for them. A huge pavilion to where you could have a farmer's market there, concerts, large reunions, a big playground center. They call them destination playgrounds, right. Fishing ponds, walking trails. You could literally spend the day there.
Okay. Well, I think we have time for one more.
Okay.
Because then I have like 3 or 4 more left. So, it seems like every time we post something about teachers in schools, mm-hmm. it gets the most response. So I'm going to go there for the last question here. The Board of Commissioners actually holds the purse when it comes to money for the Board of Education.
Correct. And
for the school district here. And what can we do to better support the school district when, like you said, we do have more people coming in? We're probably going to have to look at more schools. Mm-hmm. We've got teachers that are doing yeoman's work with online learning and at-home learning and hybrid classes. What can we do to better support our teachers in our school district?
I think one of the main things is, we went there for 3 years of giving them a supplement increase. Or giving the school system the money to give them a 1% supplement increase for 3 years to bring them up to 10%, which was kind of the average, for our area. I would like to see us go back to that again. Now that we have more investment into the county, we're able to do that because, folks, it's so hard to get teachers now. Mm-hmm. The amount of young people going into education right now is falling off. So we're having to go to Pennsylvania and Ohio to recruit teachers. That's important. And I've been working for the last couple of years on trying to get county broadband, which I think is also going to be important for our teachers, especially, we've learned now, we've got a lot of spots in the county that don't have broadband.
Right.
And that'll help education and just families in general.
Especially if you have to learn at home. That's,
absolutely.
It's difficult to do.
And we don't know what the next few months are going to bring.
Right.
And one of the things that I am hearing is some families like this virtual learning.
Sure.
And for certain families, that may be something that they want to continue. So, having countywide broadband will be important.
Okay. We have about a minute left, Amy. Okay. I'm going to give you one more shot here.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you'd like to say? Just, this is another platform for you to tell voters what voting for you would mean to them. So you got about another minute to let us know.
Well, first of all, I just want to tell everybody thank you, for voting for me in the past and giving me the privilege of serving the people of Lee County. It's a hard job, but I love the job. I am a people person, so it's great to be able to serve everyone. We've seen so much progress, like I said, in the last 4 or 5 years. The 2 gentlemen you'll hear from after me, the 3 of us, we grew up together, we work well together, and I think we share a vision for the county that will continue to bring really good things to the people of Lee County, and I'd appreciate your vote.
Well, I'd like to join Sandhills Broadcasting and The Rant, myself, in thanking Amy Dalrymple for her time today. We're going to take a short 2-minute break, and when we return, we'll talk with Commissioner candidate Mark Lovick. Stay with us. We'll be right back after these messages. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you. Take care.